Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Reverend Father Charles Odira, Catholic priest and a lecturer at Tangaza University College in Kenya in the Department of Mission and Islamic Studies. I'm presenting a topic on religion and environmental stewardship in East Africa, linking faith and conservation. I will present in the following order. First, I will give the background. Then I will attempt to give meaning and concept of religion in general, and the religiosity of East African people, common ecological doctrine of East African religions, concept of religion in the social context, that is in the 19th century, socio-historical and ecological analysis of East African religions in the 21st century, and the conclusion. To begin with the background, East Africa has three countries that I am interested in for this submission. The first one is Kenya, with at least 48 million people, according to the recent census. Uganda with 45, Tanzania with 59, which means Tanzania is the largest country of the three East African countries. Again, East Africa is a host to many religions and religious traditions. In the first place, we have African traditional religion, which is indigenous religion. And we have also Christianity and Islam, which are two more popular religions in Eastern Africa, though foreign. We have other religions, but in this paper, I will present or focus more on the three religions that I've just mentioned. Note that African traditional religion is the largest in East Africa and in any other African country and region. So we look at it not just as a foreign religion, but we look at it as a host religion to other religions, in the sense that foreign religions do not come to replace it or eliminate it. If they attempt that, then they've never succeeded. They come to complement it, or rather to use it as a vehicle of evangelization. That one, they succeed. And then in East Africa, we have a great ecological wealth, which according to East African Biodiversity and Forestry report of 2020, Kenya and Tanzania have diverse spectrum of flora and fauna, from the mangrove forests and coral reefs of the Kenyan coastline to the wide variety endemic species and subspecies at Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, Nyasa, and other small lakes, rivers within the countries of East Africa. Uganda has more than 5,000 plant species, and these are just a few of the resources that we can talk about, because you also have natural resources like the minerals and all the rest, all in East Africa. Looking at the religion in relation to our topic, the word religion is difficult to define. However, the scholars have often associated with it certain terminologies from other backgrounds like religion, religere, religare. Religion is an Anglo-French term meaning piety or devotion. Relegere is a Latin term meaning to read again or to repeat reading. And religare is also a Latin term meaning to bind. I find in my presentation worth noting that the term or the definition that suits East African religions, both indigenous and foreign, is the term or the Latin word religio, meaning respect for what is sacred, reverence for the gods, consciousness, moral obligation, fear of the gods, divine service, religious observance, faith, mode of worship, cult, sanctity, and holiness. This one, for me, suits the definition, at least the description of what the three religions that we are discussing in this context mean. Now, the religiosity of East African people. John Mbithi, a Kenyan-born scholar and very famous in this field of study, says Africans are notoriously religious, and each people has its own religious system with a set of beliefs and practices. He adds, religion permeates into all the departments of life. It is not easy or possible to isolate it. It is in this context that we are studying environment in the context of religion. In Africa, every act, every action, everything has a religious meaning. When you sleep, it is religious. When you eat, it is religious. When you farm, it is religious. When you harvest, it is religious. Everything is religious, such that we cannot isolate the social life, the cultural life from religion. That's why it becomes an important component of African traditional religion to study environment with a religious note. United Nations, in fact, acknowledges that the spiritual beliefs and religions are main drivers for cultural values, social inclusion, political engagement, and economic prosperity. We note in these three religions that there are some commonalities when it comes to the belief in the environment, their response, their concept of environment. So we look at the common ecological doctrine of East African religions, including African traditional religion, Christianity and Islam. The first is existence of God. All these religions, they believe in the existence of a supreme being, God. The Africans we call supreme being and other names. For Christians, we refer to this being as God. For Muslims, we refer to this being as Allah. All-powerful, all-knowing, all-present, transcendent, and yet also immanent. Because this one helps also to realize how important it is to respect anything that is associated with that being, including the environment. The second one is the belief in God the Creator. All these religions believe that God created everything. In fact, Muslims believe that God creates babies in the womb. Christians believe that God created step by step, and in this poetic presentation in the book of Genesis, God created from day 1 to day 6 and rested on day 7, and everything that he had created was beautiful. This leads us to the third one, manifestation of God's glory. Creation then manifests God's glory. When you look at creation, it is a reflection of who God is, the Creator. And that's why in the African traditional religion, nature is sacred. You cannot destroy it. we consider nature to be very, very holy. We cannot disassociate nature from the Creator. And again, even in the Christian scripture, the book of Genesis narrates how man was placed in the Garden of Eden, and the fruit at the center was supposed to be left untouched. And touching it had a price on it. And that's what man got. Then, man is also a special creature. In the book of Genesis again, man is special in the sense that is created in the image and likeness of God. So he has a special position, he has a special role, he has a special relationship with the Creator. And also what these religions believe is that nature nurtures man and man nurtures nature. Be nice to nature and nature will be nice to you. Conserve nature, nature will protect you. That one is something also common to all of them. Nature is, however, cruel if you destroy it, like the case of Noah and the flood, when God sent the flood to clear off everything he had created and to start afresh. That is the act of God. Then the concept of religion in the social context, especially in the 19th century, changed from being something more ritualistic to being social. Religion is looked as a social component of the society. It has a role within the society, away from rituals and codes and myths. Karl Marx, a German philosopher, journalist, as well as a radical socialist, and a proponent of social conflict theory, has it that religion is a reflection of social stratification of the society. The social conflicts theorists see religion as a tool for conflict resolution in the society. Marx described religion as the opium of the people. And this means that religion was just used to calm the nerves of the oppressed to avoid uprising against the upper class. It was a tool in the hands of the middle class to maintain the status quo and avoid problems and conflicts. Émile Durkheim, a French sociologist, the first sociologist who examined religion in the social context and a proponent of functionalist theory, saw religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to the sacred things. Functionalist theory views society as an organic whole where every part has a unique contribution to the society. Religion is also a part of the society. It has a unique contribution to the society that it makes. For Durkheim, religion unites people, promotes behavior change, and shared values, gives meaning to life. So this is the area of intervention of religion, to unite, to promote behavior change, and to promote shared values. This is what religion contributes to the society, even in the area of environment. Max Weber, a German sociologist and a political economist, a proponent of symbolic interactionism, wrote a beautiful work in the 19th century, The Protestant Work Ethics and the Spirit of Capitalism, where he analyzes the contrast or the difference between Protestant society and Catholic society. The Protestant society, he says, is a capitalist society because Protestants emphasize individual achievement of a community. Catholic world is a communitarian society because Catholics emphasize community life over individual achievement. So the perception of these religions has a wide impact on the society in which they are found. The symbolic interactionism theory studies the relationship between religious symbols and the society. The way people express religious values in the society, social relations, and how these values influence the behavior in the society. And this is how the Protestants influence the Protestant countries, and the Catholics also influence the Catholic countries. And it applies to all other religions, even African traditional religion. Now, social, historical, and ecological analysis of East African and religion. Now we look at the 19th century context. This is the time also when the social theorists existed and expressed themselves. In Africa and in East Africa, for that reason, there was colonialism. It was a time for slave trade as well. Separation of the African religion and culture. Religion may have been seen in Marx's words as the opium of the oppressed in the hands of the British colonizers and Arab traders, who through their missionaries promised a better future as they looted out the natural resources from the region. 20th century context was a context of liberation and independence. Religion is seen as a catalyst of social change. The religion's leaders rose up to fight and help liberate the people. So religion becomes an important part of the society in which through its social change efforts, independence was achieved and liberation was also achieved. Then in the 21st century context, we talk much of globalization, we talk much of secularization. Religion has a value of its own in the society. Religion participates, religion contributes, especially on the basis of the spiritual and moral responsibility that is proper to it. Religion is not an island anymore. Whether African traditional religion, Christianity, or Islam, their value and worth are measured to the extent that they participate actively in the societal needs, in the common good, whether political, ecological, or even the same religious. Here, I think Durkheim's theory would fit more than any other. Then we have East African religions in the 21st century and beyond. We talk of religions now in East Africa with political influence capable of engaging in environmental advocacy, religions with learning institutions all over East Africa for teaching minds, religions with common environmental values capable of touching lives and hearts, religions with numbers and services including health capable of transforming lives, religions with structures and long traditions capable of sustainability. Pope Francis points out that a spirituality which forgets God as all-powerful and creator is not acceptable. East African religions promote stewardship of creation rooted on their own faith in God as all-powerful and creator. East African religions acknowledge the spiritual and social value of every creature in themselves and respects them. East African religions, through their spiritual and social doctrines, promote value-based conservation. East African religions have the capacity, in collaboration with other stakeholders, to transform the society. Thank you very much.